The Boys, Season 4, Episode 7, The Insider. I guess we can put the Superman and Spider Man fight to bed. Pretty decisive. Let's talk about it. All right, guys, Brent here back for Geek Variants. Cover all things Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, anime, gaming, Star Wars, and more. This time, The Boys. And as always, joined by my boy, Chaos himself. How do you feel about this episode?
This episode was fantastic because setups are put together. We got some violence, we got some gore, we got some really integral plot points set up to really close out this season. So I'm very happy with what we've seen so far. I do think, however, it's going to be a massacre at some point. Let's just go and put that out there. It's not going to. It's not going to go good. First thing first, Butcher's back in charge. Everybody knows what that spells for the boys. They're about to
Violence.
be. They're about to be a lot more assertive with whatever it is they got to get done, and everything that happened with Mother's Milk. Again, him having that panic attack has really kind of got him want to take the back seat. He's trying to rethink his priorities and interests and what needs to happen. So Butcher being back in charge is huge. Mother's Milk is trying to get his stuff together, and he's still on the team as a researcher, and he is sending his family away because it's important that they stay safe. But he has got to see this through because it's going to get messy either way it goes. All right. Speaking of messy, I don't know if anybody has read the Marvel comics or like with the Marvel zombies. There's a scene where Spider-Man gets ripped between head and shoulders, at one point in time. The exact same thing happened to Web Weaver as he was being interrogated by Homelander. Absolutely brutal. Definitely reminiscent of the comics and stuff. And Firecracker was standing by, and again, she had no idea what Homelander was capable of until she actually saw it firsthand with him really getting down nitty gritty because he was jacked up. And let's put it this way: Web Weaver's nervousness did not make the situation any better. I'm pretty sure that that's just a mess that really needs to be cleaned up besides the body. So
I feel like he made it about 100 times worse in the situation. And like touching upon Firecracker, like, look, in this episode, she got her big promotion. She was able to be moved up to the right hand woman to the man himself, Homelander. But now she's going to kind of have to deal with the repercussions of being the woman besides Homelander. Because look, as all the seasons have clearly pointed out, Queen Maeve was his ride or die season one. Starlight was ride or die season two. Stormfront was ride or die season three. Now we're in season four, and it's Firecracker. The track record's not great. We have Queen Maeve, who's AWOL, Starlight, who is hanging out with Huey, and we have Stormfront, who's no longer with us. Things aren't looking overall all that positive for that position of power. But for whatever reason, she decided to take the pills anyway, put herself in that situation to be where she's at. And now she's kind of thinking she's going to be calling some of the shots, albeit she's tied at the hip with the most dangerous narcissist this universe has seen at any moment in time. And he's finally starting to call some shots. He got tired of sitting there waiting. He wanted to make some moves, start some planning, because as we saw, he had a little bit of a fallout with Sister Sage. I'll let you kind of break that down and how those pieces all fell into place.
all right, so Firecracker and Sage already know got a very tumultuous history with each other. They don't like each other. Sage was doing everything she can to keep everything on track for whatever plan that she has in store, which we still don't know the full plan. So whatever she has in store, she still got going in her head and she's making adjustments on the fly. But Homelander is asserting that his wisdom is going to be greater in the overall scheme of things. And he's been listening to Firecracker as far as what they need to do, which is not in his best interest. In the process of that, he decides to send Deep and Noir to go take care of Butcher because Butcher is finally just causing too many problems. So he needs to be handled. Deep and Noir go to handle that. And more or less, they get jacked up by the boys thanks to the help of one and only A Train. A Train is there to save the day and give Starlight the upper hand to take out Deep, not take him out completely, but to incapacitate him while Noor is incapacitated by mother's milk and a chain gun. So absolutely fantastic. They were able to get out of there and go figure out, what was going on with the plan while A Train was still feeding them information. He's been taking pictures of everything that Sage has been doing. So he's still trying to be that informant. Come to find out, Sage has had the plan going, but because Firecracker and Homelander sent this little hit squad to go handle business, things got screwed up. Homelander found out that Sage already knew who the leak was, and in the process, fired her from the Seven. And Sage made it very clear that this was always the plan. She knew what was going on, and she was literally sending misinformation for that reason. Again, she was doing exactly what the plan needed to have done to make it work, whatever it may be. But again, it was messed up. So now A Train has had his change of heart more or less fully and has outed himself against the Seven when he's taking them out. So absolutely fantastic, great character growth. I am so happy for A Train to actually have that realization, because the last episode when he saw that kid, he said that was the best moment that he's felt as far as actually feeling like a hero. So it's absolutely fantastic to see that. Sage may team up with someone else, either the boys or A Train or something, to continue to enact her plan. She may work at Solo. We don't know what's going on in her head, but she is currently outed. And that's not the only thing she was outed about, because apparently Deep and Noor both been getting it in with Sage. It's just that she uses Deep for when she wants to be stupid, and she uses Noor when she's not. So, hey, whatever floats her boat, but they had a bro moment about that. With that being said, everyone is kind of in their positions while other people are getting pulled into their positions. Frenchie being back and getting a pass from Mallory, thanks to Butcher. He's pulled back into the fray. Him and Kamiko have their heart to heart, and they kind of figure their stuff out. They feel a lot better about it while they have Samir still working on everything, because Frenchie is real good at making something out of nothing when it comes to working in labs and doing all that stuff. So he's the perfect person to put in there with the Samir. But the thing is, even though Samir was like, hey, this is only going to be used on Homelander, not on my family, he still couldn't take that chance, got out of his bindings, and tried to take out Kamiko. Stabbed her in the leg with the virus, and thanks to Frenchie's quick thinking, he was able to cut her leg off so that she can regrow it and save herself. The thing is, that leg, they still got that leg. That leg has got the virus in it. Something that could still be used, and they put it on ice. So they got to figure out how to make it work, and that's where Frenchie's going to come in and really kind of make things happen. Samir is on the hop, I guess.
And I guess the boys now have a leg up on the competition in terms of getting ahead of the situation of where everything is going to be at, because it's just a terrible situation overall. But Butcher, and because of Mother's Milk stepping in, said, no, we're too close. We've done more with less. He was able to be that voice of reason and get everybody back on the same page. Mother's Milk stepped up, and Butcher shot him that glance off to the side. It was like, thank you. I needed this. I just needed everyone to get rounded up and focused. And the boys now see more together than ever. That being said, there's still some more fallout, because why not in this series? Moving along to our next major point, there is some fallout that I'm sure you would love to discuss. Where do you want to start? You want to start with this guy, or do you want to start with our notorious shapeshifter?
Oh, let's talk about Ryan and Butcher having to deal with Homelander. So we already seen how Homelander's been influencing Ryan and trying to get him on board and stuff like that. Well, during this whole Vought Christmas special that this was in the beginning, Ryan finally stood up for himself. Was like, "Yo, this ain't right. You're trying to talk about all this stuff and turn people on families and all stuff, and I'm not with it." And he was about to say something else before he cut himself off, but he was speaking on live television saying that I'm not with this. This is not right, and spoke against it. Homelander saw it, and Butcher saw it. Homelander pissed, not happy at all. Butcher very happy, sees something in it, and even though Kessler is still in his ear, that he just kind of like, yeah, that's what I wanted. That gives me faith. That's why I still got faith in the boy. It's cool. And as soon as he turned around, flat on his face, because that virus is still kicking him in the teeth. So he is passed out, and we don't know what's going to happen with him. And he's going to wake up next episode probably like, what happened? And speaking of somebody waking up, we got an assassination plan going down to take out the president, apparently on January 6th. And all this stuff is in play. We see Sage giving documents to somebody. And after they figure out who it is and they track this person down, they don't really figure out who it is, but they just know who the body is. They come to find out that that person was hiding in the closet as someone else. It's a shapeshifter who, as soon as they get a touch, they can literally shed their skin, literally like a chameleon. It's a bloody mess, but they can shed it and change it to whoever they've last touched. And that's going to be a problem because, again, if anybody's alone for any period of time, they can become a target and they can become exactly who the shapeshifter needs to be at that point in time, which that person just happens to be Starlight. Starlight was taken hostage and chained to some room somewhere, and that allowed for the shapeshifter to go in, find Huey, and have relations with Huey under the guise of Starlight and get the information that they have on Newman, which means Newman is now more or less free and clear from the boys, but maybe not free and clear from Sage if it's Sage the one who's putting this stuff together. We don't know who the shapeshifter exactly is working for right now. So that begs the question. And we also don't know where Starlight is right now because, again, she's ain't got her powers. And we hear that door creak open. So somebody's coming in to set something up.
A lot of mysterious pieces moving on, and then everything involving Newman. We always forget that just several episodes previously, she was talking with Stan Edgar and busted him out. Who knows to say that Edgar could be in on all this, that they could be making moves, because all the pieces right now are falling into Newman's lap. Her husband's going to be back in the picture, and we know he can make the virus. Stan Edgar is out there on the run, and now the shapeshifter has moved all the pieces directly into where she wants it to be, and she seems completely remorseless anything involving the president. So we're going to be kind of stuck at a loss here. There's a lot of stuff to speculate on. The show has done a fantastic job of writing in a lot of integral pieces. A-Train, phenomenal growth. Butcher, for once, I gotta give you your flowers. You morally did the right thing from point one to point, whatever the ending you want to call it is throughout this episode. He morally made the right choices. He outed himself and said, look, I got Samir. Everything's going on. That was part of my plan. I had a change of heart because I don't want to be responsible for all this. And then he had his moment where he sent Ryan that gift that really brought his heart out entirely, and why Ryan had that moment on TV. So huge shout out to Butcher. Huge shout out to A-Train. A lot of pieces still moving in play. R.I.P. Ambrosia will be a light piece going on because Deep is now just in deep with everything going on. This show continues to excel. Anything else you wanted to touch upon throughout this episode?
No, man, that's it. I just gotta wait to see what happens. Look, hey, it was a Maeve notebook that everything that saves us right now was a Maeve notebook. That's called Maeve, Soldier Boy, seen him on the magazine and stuff. Like, there's people that could show up at any point in time that could turn this thing on its head. Like, it's already kind of going nuts as it is, but like, the boys is known for doing some wild stuff. So it's kind of a wait and see for that episode 8.
Oh, yeah. Very excited. Be sure to hit that lovely red subscribe button. Greatly helps us out as we have 1,000 subscriber giveaway for you, the viewer. You can be entered to win a couple exciting prizes when that moment happens. And it'll be an easy way of keeping up if you want to watch The Boys live with us for our episode recaps. We're also doing My Hero Academia, House of the Dragon, and we'll be at the Acolyte finale next week. I've been Brent with Chaos himself. Thank you for watching Geek Variants.